played the game wrong, this is chess, I'm not a pine. They saying king me, holla beep beep. When you see me on the TV, got me 3D up in the city. Hey Doug, with a whole KCPD gon' have to see me. With a whole KCPD gon' have to see me.
I mean, Devil's Playground. I mean, it's just so sad what's going on in the world. It's just like back to back. Yeah, domestic is very on a high alert right now. I mean, it's always been. It seems like the more and more I watch videos and see more and more, it's just like out of control. Very much so. Subscribe to the channel. This is King Me. Another sad video. Let's watch it.
Open the door and there's a dead body right there.
Neighbors in San Carlos Park woke up to find a woman shot dead right in their front yard. They could have never guessed what was happening inside the home right across the street. Deputies say a man went on a rampage, killing 2 women with 2 young children inside the home. Thank you for counting on NBC2. I'm Brenna White.
And I'm Peter Bush. Deputies say Ethan Cartwright barricaded himself inside, but eventually surrendered. NBC2's Gage Golding is the only reporter talking to the neighbors who made the gruesome discovery this morning.
Heard some like screaming and stuff, knocking, and then I know you just heard the shots.
Rico, who didn't want to show his face on camera, was home with his roommates this morning. They weren't expecting any visitors.
Pretty much just opened the door and there's a dead body right there.
A black woman covered in blood and motionless was lying on his front step.
Didn't know what to do, to be honest.
They called 911, but had little hopes of saving her.
We pretty much knew she was dead at that point.
But what they didn't know is in the home right across the street, another woman was killed in the kitchen.
That's just horrible. You know, that's horrible that 2 women died and, you know, a guy shot him. I just can't believe that.
The alleged shooter, 31-year-old Ethan Cartwright, barricaded himself inside a bedroom. Deputies say 2 children were also inside.
It's just really sad that there wasn't something else that could have happened before it got to this point.
Eventually, the SWAT team took him into custody.
He'll now be transported to the Lee County Jail.
Cartwright is now facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. While the next of kin for both women have been notified, LCSO hasn't released their names or the relationship between Cartwright and the victims.
And breaking news in Lee County, this is our first look at the man accused of murdering 2 women this morning in San Carlos Park. Within the last hour, the sheriff and his deputies walked 31-year-old Ethan Cartwright out of their headquarters and to jail. Deputies say Cartwright shot both women at a home on Apple Road west of Lee Road.
2 children were inside that home when a fight started and a neighbor called 911. NBC2's team of reporters are in the neighborhood and at the sheriff's office tonight. We begin with Claire Lavazorio in San Carlos Park.
Right now, the sheriff is not telling us the relationship between Cartwright and the 2 women, but I want you to take a look behind me. This scene has been active since 8 o'clock this morning. This yellow crime scene tape up, blocking off Apple Road, and we've seen deputies as well as detectives heading in and out of one home specifically with an open garage door. You can see where that sheriff's vehicle is parked right out front, as well as the mobile command unit, and they are looking for any evidence that can lead them to a motive. A domestic violence incident in a San Carlos Park neighborhood early Thursday morning took the lives of 2 women.
Upon our arrival, our deputies located 2 females deceased from apparent gunshot wounds.
Sheriff Carmine Marcino says after his deputies found the 2 women, they quickly found the accused shooter, Ethan Cartwright, and used a taser to try to take him into custody. This all happening with 2 young children inside the home.
Our suspect had a firearm. He did not present deadly physical force to our deputies. If he did, he wouldn't be in the back of a squad car. He wouldn't be in custody. He'd be a job for the medical examiner and 6 feet under in a casket.
Cartwright then barricaded himself in a bedroom, but SWAT members were able to negotiate with him.
I don't agree with the police too much. You know that. You know, a lot of them, 80% of them are foul, but I have to say that right there, he made a good point right there. That police, I mean, definitely. You know, you kill a mother inner child, you know. Yeah, you got to go. Definitely got to go. See, that's how I know he wasn't too mental. He wasn't shooting at the police, you know. Probably had an argument with the mama. You know, I could put two and two together. Had an argument with, you know, with the daughter. Then mama probably stepped in, or he probably had an argument with the mama, and the daughter probably stepped in. It was 1 to 2 and 2. But whatever it was, you know, what I'm saying, he had to get rid of both of them. Another one bites the dust, huh?
To get him out of the home and into custody. At this point, we're working to find out the relationship between Cartwright and the two women he allegedly shot to death.
Domestic violence is zero tolerance, and today our suspect learns about that.
Cartwright is facing 2 second-degree murder charges. He is currently being held in the Lee County Jail. I'm live in San Carlos Park. Claire Lavazorio, NBC2.
And I'm Ashley Graham on Apple Road. Some neighbors tell us they woke up early this morning to gunshots and commotion right in their backyards.
Around like 7 a.m., 7:30, I was woken up
by 2 gunshots not far from her home. Courtney Dimmer says her first instinct was to try and protect herself.
I was worried. I have my concealed carry myself. I have a gun. My first thought was, well, where's my gun?
Then she heard a third shot and sirens a few minutes later.
Your mind kind of wants to think that it's not gunshots. You want to think maybe it's like fireworks or something, but at 7 a.m. you probably know that's not the case. So
investigators say there were children inside when the shooting happened.
In terms of like kind of mentally what they had to see and stuff, that's really scarring and traumatizing, so I feel really bad for the kids, and I kind of hope they can get the help that they're going to need.
Dimmer says she witnessed domestic violence in her home as a child. She says this morning's shooting touched her personally.
It's just really sad that there wasn't something else that could have happened before it got to this point.
Neighbors tell us they're grateful no children were hurt, but they were devastated to hear about the 2 people who were killed. The crime scene tape is down, the detectives are gone, but what happened in this home is forever burned in the minds of everyone in the San Carlos Park neighborhood.
It's not something that you can just get over it from one day to another. It's going to take time.
Remy Fleury knows that too well. His daughter and his ex-wife are dead. His grandchildren witnessed the double murder.
I feel devastated. That's the only daughter I have. I have no other kids.
Remy Fleury told me he came back here to this crime scene to get the clothing and toys for his grandkids.
They are my kids now. Not grandkids, but they are kids.
The 2-year-old little girl still cries for her mom and grandmother.
She keeps asking for grandma. Grandmama. Mama, grandma. Where's grandma? Where mama? Since the incident, she doesn't eat anything. She doesn't drink.
And the 6-year-old boy still remembers every vivid detail.
He explained how the scene happened. How Ethan killed grandmother.
Fleury told me he feared this day might come. In 2016, deputies in Broward County arrested Cartwright on domestic violence charges. While this affidavit doesn't name the victim, Fleury said his daughter was holding their son and trying to pack and leave the home when Cartwright pushed her, then punched her with a closed fist.
What I'm waiting for is justice for the family. The justice I'm waiting for is that guy is the death penalty for him.